Hello, my name is Jack Lawton, and here today I'm presenting to you my thoughts and the style of the documentary Election Night. Election Night is directed by Ryan Scafuro and follows a crowd in a boozy London pub on the night of the American election when Donald Trump became the 45th President of the United States. This follows Ryan Scafuro's themes of empathy, art and humour, which he likes to see working side by side in all of his documentaries. He's done quite a few and he's won a few awards, and this one is one of his best. This documentary could be considered an observational as well as the direct style of documentary. I believe personally that it is more observational, but it does show some signs of direct, which we will get into right now. So to begin with, we should know Ryan Scafuro's style before we talk about Election Night. And many of his other works include the same style. He likes to keep the same themes and the same style of empathy, humour, working side by side as well as art. He's known to have done a lot of work in America and London, as well as Election Night, which crosses those two over. And he always has that same fly-on-the-wall style interwoven with that interview type of directional documentary that he has. So he tries his hardest to show empathy by asking individuals how they feel at the time and what they're feeling, and that really creates a sense of empathy because you start to understand what they're going through. And this is a direction styling, but then he has the observational style weaved in between that, and as well as gathering people's genuine reaction to match what is said during the interviews. So when he's not interviewing people, he's that fly on the wall, and that backs up what he gets from those interviews. Moving along, so the observational style itself, it can also be referred to as cinema verite, and it is the fly on the wall type method. That is what a lot of people refer to it as, and it is gathering genuine reactions to the subject at hand, which is much what Ryan does in Election Night. He is gathering genuine reactions. Boston director Frederick Wiseman made it famous with documentaries such as High School and Public Housing. An obtrusive cameraman or crew will film the events of what is transpiring to gather genuine reactions. So the main theme, obviously, you can see here is that they remain obtrusive, they don't get involved, and they're gathering reactions rather than trying to create some through interviews, much like a directional style. So observation styles that are prevalent in Election Night, a main example that I could find was the fight about 4 or 5 minutes in. It is obviously, he has not created this. This is a genuine reaction by two people on opposing sides, and it is almost an example of what America is going through right now, and that is that observation. He just witnessed that and he filmed it. The constant purchase of drinks. This was an event. This was people drinking, having fun, and watching the election, expecting Hillary Clinton to win, but obviously that is not how it planned. And just that genuine reaction of people buying drinks, trying to have fun, thinking that Donald Trump was almost a joke of a president, that could go hand in hand with that drinking style, and he witnessed a lot of people drinking. And it is interweaved with snippets of speaking, so interviews, I should say, where genuine reactions of Donald Trump was announced that he would win enough states to become the next president. At the end, towards the end, 2 minutes, he is filming the TV screen where they announce that he is most likely going to win. He's starting to win the states that he needs to win, and you can just see the genuine reaction. People are shocked and almost terrified, and that style of empathy, because I'm sure that's what many of us felt at the time when Donald Trump was being elected president. In between the talking, there are also long shots with unedited footage of reaction with no voiceover. That's quite common in observational style. Just that no voiceover, no direction needed, we're just watching. And that long shots, unedited, even though he cut between shots. He is not tampering with any of this. This is pure, genuine reaction, like I stated before. And all the talking in this are not guarded by questions. So this talking, these responses are not guarded by hounding of questions. These are just genuinely how they feel about the events transpiring. He most likely would have asked them, how do you feel about this? And that's all he would have had to say. Also in touch with Ryan's style, asking drunk people about their thoughts is always going to lead to a funny response, interweaving that comedy that one guy who was constantly saying when Hillary wins Florida, she's won it all. And then he starts to realise that Trump is gaining a bit on Florida. He says, no, Hillary's got it, he's going to win Florida, so she's going to win Florida and win the election. And obviously that doesn't happen. And he may have been wrong, well, he was wrong. So a bit of the directional style of election night, and the interviews were sometimes baited. For an example, the woman crying towards the end, it was pretty obvious how she was feeling. Maybe didn't need to ask her so many questions about how she was feeling. It's pretty obvious that she was pretty out of control. She obviously didn't agree with Brexit, as was stated by her, and she obviously was feeling very scared about what was happening next. Most people would have been asked questions, but mainly would have been asked, how do you feel? And that is obviously a bit of an observational thing, so that goes against the directional style. Although minimal evidence in this documentary for directional style, these do to overlap. Okay, like the bartender as well. She mentioned she's from the States and she mailed her vote. That's information he would have had to get out of her before filming. And also the other bartender obviously seems very baited because she does get a lot of screen time. To conclude, election night does show that features more of an observational documentary. That is what I consider it, and that is what it should be classified as. And it does have those direct documentary features woven within, but that is expected between both of them. It has followed Ryan Scaffaro's style of trying to gather empathy as well as some comedy. And election night is a great example of observational documentary, I believe, at its one of its finest moments. So thank you for listening, and this has been my thoughts on election night.